Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. This is Brian, and I'm the Cycle Trainer for Starkey Hearing Technologies. And if you ever need assistance with Cycle, you always can call Starkey and ask for technical support, or you can email us at oms_support@starkey.com. And this is video 7 of our 14 video series. And in our last video, we talked about going over confirming appointments, rescheduling appointments, and our call lists and things of that nature. And in this particular video, we're going to be talking about appointment outcomes. So this is what happens after the appointment is complete. Is the provider is going to give you some notes, or you yourself are going to go in and add an appointment outcome. So in our previous session, we created this appointment for Al Moen, and we confirmed it, meaning that we called the day before asking if he is still going to be able to make his appointment. He said yes, so we confirmed that. And then now it's the day of the appointment, and he had the appointment, and the provider has now given you notes. What you're going to do now is you're going to find the appointment. Okay, you can either do that by searching for the patient, or since it's going to be today, it's already on our calendar. You're going to click into the appointment itself. And then what you're going to want to do is click on where it says Enter Outcome. Now, before I do that, I do want to mention one thing here, is that at the top, this particular patient, if you've been watching all the videos, when we created the patient, he already had hearing aids. And we said that we put a date on there, because this is important because it says time since last purchase, 2.9 years. This will be important for calculating what the close rate of the provider. And so I'll talk about that a little bit more right now, but that's just kind of a handy little tip there. So we're going to click on Enter Outcome. Click on this button here. Now, this is going to be the same as your appointment information up at the top. So we're going to scroll down a little bit here. In the appointment, we can put some outcome notes. This is going to be just like in the patient intake form. All these entries are logged for HIPAA compliance, so it will have your name and date and time stamped on here. And these are different things that you will not be able to delete in the future. And so if you want to, you can definitely put in some notes in here. We can say that the consultation went well, ... and put other information in there. Below that, if there is anything for insurance purposes that you want to put in, you can add diagnosis codes. And so to do a diagnosis code, you would definitely come in here. You can click on this link to the right of the field. And then you're just going to type in, you can search through here just by scrolling down. Otherwise, you can type in keywords. So let's say they have a sensory neural hearing loss. Okay, type in just the beginning of that, and I could filter this. You would find the sensory neural hearing loss bilateral, this H903. This is one that's probably really the most common one. I'm going to click on that. And if there are any other diagnosis codes, I can enter those in here as well. Now below that, we have our hearing test. Now this is going to be the most important part to putting in the outcome, because again, this is going to directly affect the provider's close rate. And then for marketing, it'll give you a list of your tested, not sold when you put this in correctly. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on, well, first off, if you do have NOAA integration, you can click on NOAA and it will fill in your thresholds down here. But otherwise, this information is not necessary. The only thing that's required is going to be the level and the type of hearing loss. So when I click in here, if you do have NOAA integration, it will give you all these different options. We have level 1 through level 9, and then we have incomplete test and did not test. Now, you'll notice when I look down here where it says close rate, it says sales opportunity. Right now it says no. If I was to change this to level 2 through level 8, which would indicate that the patient does have a loss that is able to be aided, that it will change the sales opportunity to yes. Okay, if I wanted to, I can change that back to no in case I know that there is no possible way that the patient is going to buy hearing aids, but otherwise that'll default to yes. So I'm going to say that the patient has a severe hearing loss. Okay, when I click on one, it does automatically change the other ear. I can change that manually. And then the patient has a sensory neural hearing loss. So just so you all know, this close rate is determined by whether or not there is an aidable hearing loss selected. Okay, again, level 2 through 8. And then it also takes into account whether or not the patient has purchased hearing aids within the last 3 years or not. If they have never purchased hearing aids, or if it's been more than 3 years and the patient does not buy hearing aids, then that would negatively affect their close rate. Okay, but in this particular case, I just showed you in the appointment that the hearing aid was purchased within 2.9 months ago, or 2.9 years ago rather, that if I was to say sales opportunity here as yes, and he didn't actually purchase hearing aids, that it would not negatively count against his close rate. But if I do say that he has a hearing loss and I don't actually sell a hearing aid to him, that would be a tested, not sold. So I wanted to make sure that I made those distinctions there. All right, so again, I put in my level, I put in my type, and then is there a sales opportunity? In this case, yep, I'm going to say yes, there is. All right, I can update the privacy information that I put on his original intake form, and then disregard this mailing list and the custom templates for now. If I wanted to, if I know that he's going to buy, or this patient's going to buy hearing aids, in the future I can create a callback to have him come in at a specific time that his hearing aids come in. So I can if I want to do that, or if there's, for whatever reason, I want to create a callback, I can do that here. I would not use this patient recall. This is for more marketing reasons, so don't worry about this patient recall. If I wanted to update his custom groups, I could update that here. And then at the bottom, it's going to ask me, were there any purchases with this appointment? In this case, I'm going to say yes, there is. And then at the bottom as well, it does have the previous receipts. And in the previous videos, I did create a direct hearing aid entry, like the patient had hearing aids before they came into my office, and that'll always show as import. That's what this import means. And then I also, in one of the previous videos, I did a battery purchase, and that's what this second purchase is. Okay? If there were previous appointments, all those would be listed down here as well. All right. So I filled in all the information that I needed to fill in for my appointment outcome. And then from here, I'm just going to go ahead and click on Save. Now, since I said yes, there were purchases, this is automatically going to open a new purchase for me. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. And now, in my purchase summary, when I showed you the other purchase for just hearing aids, since that was not attached to an appointment, I did not have the option to add hearing aids. But since this has been attached to an appointment, it now gives me this option to buy hearing aids. And so from here, I would go ahead and put through the regular purchase, and then I would be all set to go. For this particular purpose, I'm going to stop because the next video is going to show you all about purchasing hearing aids. So I'm going to go ahead and close this because I want to show you a couple other things. Is that when you're all done with the appointment, you will be able to look at the appointment summary, and this will show you all the information that you put in your appointment outcome. And if you ever needed to edit some of that information, you can always come in here and edit it, dependent upon whether or not you have administration rights and whether or not it has been a full day since this was created. Okay, so all the information's there. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Also, if I go ahead and search for the patient, I go to the patient's summary. When I scroll down here, if I ever need to go back into the particular appointment, I can always go to where it says appointments, and I can reopen the completed consultation. I also have the consultation notes as well. That is the end of all of the new information I wanted to share with you guys today. And so this concludes video 7 of video 14. Thank you for your attention, and please tune in for video 8.